Welcome back to another episode of the Maybe This Helps podcast. Today's episode is a big one for myself. I had the opportunity to sit down with a really good mate of mine, Jordan, and we spoke about all things becoming a dad for the very first time.
Wow, I'm going to be a dad.
This conversation is about the things that no one really talks about in regards to becoming a dad. The fears, the insecurities, the pressures that go along with it. And we really think deeply about how we are going to best prepare ourselves to be the sort of parents that we want to be. I think this conversation is powerful, not just for people that are becoming new dads. It could be a really valuable conversation for anybody that's about to have a child. It could be powerful for somebody that already has kids. I don't think that there is necessarily a best time to think about some of the stuff that me and Jordan go over in this conversation. I think the most important thing is that you ultimately just do think about it. But above all, this conversation is open and honest. What me and Jordan have sort of figured out is nobody really knows what they're doing. Everyone's living this life for the first time, and it's okay to not know. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I love sitting down with Smithy and having this chat. Let's get right into it. Jordan Smith on Maybe This Helps.
We're both due to be parents for the first time, right? So,
Yeah.
When are you due exactly, roughly?
Roughly, we are due around the 10th of October, roughly.
Yeah, nice.
We've had a couple of dates.
Yeah, literally like a month before us because we're the 7th of November. So like, it's crazy.
Mad.
And you know, like for me and you, like this is, I don't know, I guess like one of those things, like we've been like best mates for a long time, right? And yeah, I don't know, like I guess like when you're like younger and you think, oh yeah, we'll all have kids together and like this and that.
Yeah.
And then life happens, right? And like, you just kind of don't expect it. And also you're in Australia, you're the other side of the world.
Yeah.
But then like it's literally still happening and we're still super close. Like we speak like multiple times a week and I don't know, man, this is fun. It's exciting. I'm glad that I still get to kind of be on this journey with you.
Share the journey 100%. Like you said, imagine, 10, 12 years ago, we're at your mum's house in Bristol playing up, whatever. And who would have thought it now? We're both like, this wasn't planned at all. Like we didn't plan to be this close. This is just how it's happened for, both of us. It's just so crazy. We obviously got married last year. You guys come out and then all of a sudden a year later, like literally a year, like this time last year, you were in Noosa. You were here with me. And now,
literally, mate. Yeah.
Literally. And then now, we're both pretty much close to, being dads for the first time. It's madness.
Wild, mate. Yeah.
Still blows my mind. Oh, it still blows my mind. Like, honestly, like I'm pretty, like I'm ready. I'm like, I'm not nervous at all. I'm so excited, but it's still just mad to say like, wow, I'm going to be a dad, it's sort of a weird thing to say. But yeah, I'm super prepared. I'm not sort of trying to, not have myself prepared for it. Do you know what I mean? Like I accepted it a lot, like straight away. I'm like, right, okay. You know what I'm like? I'm so OCD. Like I'm making lists. I'm making sure I've got everything, probably more than I need, So,
100% more than you need.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's just mad, isn't it? Like, our plan, just the backstory. I mean, but for anybody else,
mate, go for it. Yeah.
We got married last year, and the plan was always to have kids. But you never, don't know how long that's. You never know. You don't know how long it's going to take. So the plan was get married and then start trying for kids. And took a couple of months, but it was fairly quick. And we're so lucky that we are able to have kids because obviously not everybody is. So.
On that, mate, like, did you feel the pressure of that, like, of that? I guess ultimately, like, not knowing whether you can or not, like having that plan of like, you're with Laura and then, you're building your lives together, you get engaged, you get married. was that a pressure for you? Like thinking like, oh, this is what we want, but like we just really don't know if we can do it.
Yeah, that's a good one because I don't feel it never came up between me and Laura. But from a personal point of view, I always thought like, and this is like so funny to say, but like, does it work? Like,
Yeah,
am
yeah,
I going to,
yeah.
because I've never, you know, I had
The
friends
scarce.
that,
Yeah,
friends at school, and they've got somebody pregnant. I never, it never happened. Right. So I'm just
yeah,
like, I did to myself think like, bloody hell, like, is it going to
yeah,
happen? And,
yeah, yeah,
like I said, we sort of got married in August, started trying straight away. Obviously, not going to happen straight away. Laura's on contraceptive pill, so that takes time for the body. Whatever. Without going too deep into that, I don't know enough. But and then we fell pregnant end of Jan. So at the time, it felt like a long time to me, and I was
yeah,
like, bloody hell, is this going to happen? You know.
yeah, yeah.
Um, So I don't know if you felt like that, but I was trying not to put too much pressure on myself, because it can sort of be a negative.
Yeah, no, that's the sort of why I asked me because I think like, I think for me and Hardy, thankfully, we literally put no pressure on ourselves. Like we had
Yeah,
no sort of expectation.
yeah,
Like I've always obviously wanted my own kids, right? Like that's just like the
yeah,
facts of it.
yeah,
But me and Hardy
100%.
always said for like a long time, we were like, pre being engaged, pre being married, like it was something we kind of did discuss a little bit, not in loads of detail, but enough that we said that look, if it ever came to a point that we couldn't do that, we would probably look at like other options, like adoption or whatever. We
Yeah,
were like,
yeah,
yeah, that was something we kind of had discussed. So
yeah,
I think that did take the pressure off a little bit. But then again, in all honesty, again, like without getting too deep into it, it's not what I really want to talk about today. But as you know, like even like a year ago, like when we were in Oz, like me and Hardy probably still weren't in the right place in ourselves to even really think about
yeah,
trying to have a
yeah,
baby and like have a kid.
yeah,
Um, so in a weird way, like the pressure of trying to make ourselves feel ourselves again, I
yeah, yeah,
guess,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
took the
100%.
pressure off like trying to have a kid,
Yeah,
in a weird way. But on that, mate, I think it's kind of important to bring up. I don't know if you thought about it much, but one thing that was really pissing me off and doing my head in is as soon as you get married, everyone's then like, when you're having a kid, when you're having a baby, when you're having a kid.
100%. Yeah,
Um, and I've always been of the view, and I don't know why I've been of this view, but I've never thought about saying to someone like, when you're having a kid, are you pregnant? Like me personally, I just don't
yeah,
think that's the right thing to say because you never know what's going on
yeah,
behind closed doors, right? And
100%.
I just wonder what your experience was with that.
No, I mean, me a little bit, not so much. I think, being a guy, like guy mates don't really sort of
Yeah,
say that like younger people. The odd sort of comment when I like play soccer, but more so Laura, as you know, again, won't go with, she has a beauty salon and so she's seeing clients every day and, women from
yeah,
retired. And so even before the wedding, they're like, "So you're gonna have kids? You having kids? Are you gonna have kids?" And then post wedding, it was like, "Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant?" Constant, constant.
yeah,
Which is like you say, I wouldn't, Uh, I generally say, like one of my friends just got married. I'm like, plan to have kids? Like, is it a plan? I
yeah. It's
think it's
more,
good.
it's a bit more open ended. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
you're genuinely just asking like, do you want this or not, or are you thinking
yeah,
about
yeah,
this? Not
yeah,
so much like, when's it happening? Like, why aren't
yeah,
you
yeah,
pregnant yet?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because I think sometimes, and I'd like to think I try and like look on like the positive side of it. People are just asking these questions because they care about you, and like,
hundred
and I
percent.
think a lot of the time, like people are parents themselves, so they know the joy that it can bring you. But again, like, imagine being that person that, for whatever reason, can't have kids, or they're really
Can't.
struggling to conceive.
Yeah,
or they could have lost a child. Do you know what I mean? And they've just not told anyone about it. And then you're there like, you know, jumping down someone's throat. I think it's something that we definitely experienced, and it just didn't.
I think 100%. There's a time and a place, and there's a way to say it, but also, and again, so the difference, like, you know, obviously I was born in England, spent the majority of my life there currently, but in England, it's like leave school, you know, get a job, get a partner, you know, go to uni, get a job, get a partner, get married and have kids. Like that's like the route that they tell you to go down. And here is the same, but very different in what I've found is like you leave school, you go to trade school as a guy, you get a trade. And so I say kids, like people leaving school, they'll get married and have 2 or 3 kids by the age of 21. Like it's very young here for that. Like there's so many young parents, you know, it's just sort of the way that they go here. It's uni, I find, is not so much a big push as it is in the UK. So the perception is like, as soon as you got married, it's like kids, like everybody thinks that, you know? And so it's always, like, you know, and we probably would have had kids earlier in all honesty. But, you know, we moved here and it's been a long couple of years to set our life up.
Journey,
so,
mate. Yeah.
Mate, that is a whole nother podcast. We'll save that. Bloody hell. We'll be here till tomorrow morning. But, it's been, it was never the right time. You know, our goal, we got together and the goal was always to get a dog, get married and have kids. Like from day one, we spoke about it. And so we just had to get through visas and, you know, that again, we won't go down that rabbit hole. And so, we sort of got to the end of that. We're both sort of built 2 businesses from the ground up, which they're now sort of doing very well. And so, I popped the question, what is it, 3 years ago? And then, got married last year. But it's, it's not nice when people are sort of, you know, because I have friends, you know, that it hasn't worked out, you know, getting pregnant. And so, you know, like you say, you don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors at all.
Yeah, man. Hey, on that, with obviously like you and Laura and, you know, like you're the other side of the world and, you know, like got no family with you, you've started businesses. Obviously, naturally with that comes like loads of stress and stuff, right? And now, obviously, you know, you're kind of going into like another unknown period of life, right? Like first time being a parent. What the fuck? Like you don't know what you're doing.
Literally.
And do you feel now, obviously, as you said, like you and Laura have both got your own businesses and you're doing really well, but naturally, obviously, there's going to come a point now where Laura just can't do as much. And ultimately, like somehow you got to just do more. You got to find something extra. How are you dealing with that, like the pressures of that, mate, and the stress of that?
I'm dealing with it. That's for sure. How, like, feel good, like, honestly. I mean, I think what really helped for us is being here. So again, I don't want to keep backtracking to this, but this sort of helps in a way. You know, we've been in Australia now 7 years. Okay. Laura's parents are now here in Australia, but only last year. Obviously, my mum's still in England. My uncle is in Canberra, which people don't know. Australia is massive, so it's like a 3-hour flight from here to Canberra. You know, so it's not like he can just pop here. So anyway,
mate, it's like the equivalent of like my dad's in Malta.
Literally. It's madness. Like we drove there last year to Canberra, and it's like 18 hours, right? So mental. So we've done, me and Laura on our own, and then through COVID, which again, that is a whole nother podcast, but really tough. At the time we weren't, we were a temporary resident, so we got 0 help. And so we had to do everything. Like Laura lost her job. I was sole earner. not earning good money, and so all of that is like really built a good foundation to now where like, I listened to your podcast the other day and,
Thanks, mate.
yeah, no, I always listen, but you mentioned, about you and Nose always say to each other, is it 2023?
Yeah.
Like when times are hard. And me and Laura, we don't sort of openly say it, but we have said, we've got through COVID here. We can literally get through anything, like anything, mate. Like seriously, not fun. Many tears to the point where we nearly booked flights back twice, And so now, like, honestly, like, yeah, it's tough not having family here, but we will deal with it. In terms of me, like, Laura's now at a point where she's got a couple of staff working at the business. So she's slowly removing herself from the business and that will be self-sufficient and she'll just do stuff in the background. But yeah, I mean, my actual workload is massive right now. Just because, I'm self-employed. So I want to take time off post baby. And so I'm trying to earn as much money as possible to float me and us through that period, but I'm not saying it. Yeah, it's tough. Like it's tough. I'm doing long days, then coming home and, now doing stuff for Laura that she physically can't do, and so feels like it never stops. Do you know what I mean? In the nicest way possible.
Yeah. Right. just before we started chatting, I said to you like, "Oh, how's your weekend been?" And you were like, "Never stops, mate. I'm so busy."
Literally, like, yeah, it just does not stop. Like, we're rearranging the kitchen so that there's now a baby cupboard. Changing the this is boring, but putting the plates at a better cupboard for Laura to reach.
But mate, I get it though, because like those are all the things that like. Let's be honest, they're just not fun. Like, there's no motivation to do that stuff.
Literally.
And like, mate, I get it. Like, and I think that's literally why I wanted to ask and I wanted to bring it up because, there are certain things like with having a baby that could be deemed as like, I don't know, like quote unquote, like fun and exciting. Like, I don't know, like going shopping for a pram or like, and like baby clothes and, like Hardy's loving the baby clothes. You know what I mean? My mum's loving buying baby clothes.
Yeah.
But then it's like all of that other stuff that is effectively, as harshly as that, it's just a chore, right?
100%.
And it's just something that needs to get done. And like, there's more of that stuff, unfortunately, than there is all the fun stuff. And sometimes it's hard to, like, I find myself, I have to remind myself like why I'm doing it. Like, and I think it's like anything in life. To get a positive outcome, there has to be an amount of like hard negative stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah. Has to.
It's trying to, for me, and I think for you, it's like whenever we talk, we're like constantly trying to remind ourselves like why we're doing it, what it's all for, 100%. What is the positive that's going to come out of all of this.
Yeah. You have to, because in that moment, right, I spoke to you on my last job, big job, full interior of a house. Anyway, it won't go into that, but couple of delays, a couple of things didn't really go to plan. And all of a sudden, like I'm in a time crunch. I'm so busy with work. I'm booked out literally until the due date. So he better not come early, first and foremost, if he's listening, because I do not have the time for that. But then all of a sudden it's like, if there's no baby, then I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I just do my normal days and everything gets pushed back, but I can't physically push that date back. So all of a sudden I'm doing 6 till 6, Saturday to Saturday, like 7 days straight. I got Laura at work vacuuming the rooms as I'm finishing because my client's also flying back from England. Like stressful, mate, and in that time I was like, what am I doing? And then you have to remind yourself that's why I'm doing it,
mate. How's it been? Have you found it hard to like kind of remind yourself it like inside all of this chaos and all of the busyness and the stress of it all? Have you been able to like still try and like be Laura's husband, like be there for her, yeah, I don't know what's the word, like not support her, but just, just try and
Just
find
be
like some
present.
sort of, like be present and find some connection outside of all of this.
Trying. I'm trying. She may tell you different. No, we're trying. The thing is, like, Laura's very, very work focused. She's very career driven, which is, is one thing I love about her. And so, like, sometimes we come home from work and we're both just like either still working or we just don't talk. And it's because we're just fried, fried. And we've been we did this pre-baby, because both businesses are, 4 years old. So we've been grinding for a long time. So we have a very good understanding. And hence on the weekends, we really try and make the most of spending the time together, So when I say we've been busy, we've just been, we've been at the beach this morning, walked the dog, then home, did some, we just had a new fridge freezer, which is, wild times, all of like the adult stuff,
Oh, you're in your 30s now, mate.
Yeah, literally just buzzing, mate. Double fridge freezer, just absolutely stoked. But yeah, so we try and enjoy as much time as we can together. And look, to be honest, the last we were 33 weeks yesterday. So I would say, go back 6 weeks, like Laura's still very mobile and able to do a lot. It's only been, into the third trimester where, bump is big. She's just
She got that
feels
waddle now.
heavy. Yeah, she's waddling, you know. Anywhere we go for a walk, she's always like just dawdling behind me, just trying to catch up, So yeah, it's only been sort of in the last last 6-ish weeks where I've had to do, but look, she's absolutely smashing it. She's still doing more than probably what she should. And maybe, no disrespect what other mums do. Being self-employed, like it just never stops, And she is a service-based business, so she's always advertising, last-minute appointments. So yeah, anyway, that's a bit sort of off, but yeah,
no.
It's yeah, we're making a good go of it, mate. We're doing the best we can in the situation, and yeah, we like Laura's parents aren't currently here with us in this part of Australia, so it is just us. We have a very good support network of friends, so yeah, it's good. And I lean on you a lot, so that helps a lot. Like me, you, and Dan, we chat every Wednesday, which is sort
Waffle
of
Wednesdays,
like
bro.
Waffle Wednesday, mate. That's a year strong now. That
mate, I know, mate. Genuinely, probably one of the best things we ever did, man. It's fucking so good.
Oh, mate, like that thing has been like my what's it called? My therapist. Seriously.
Yeah, bro, 100%. Yeah,
like,
mate, I want to bring out like with the support in Laura thing, because we spoke about this before, and I think it's really interesting. And both of us can't remember where we heard it, but I talk a lot about, on the days where like Laura's struggling or you're struggling or you just don't have it that day, but you've still got like a big list of stuff that you just got to get through. Me and Harley really adopted that sort of rule where if she's really struggling, like, I'll come home from work one day and she'll be like, look, I know we got this big list of stuff to get through, but I'm on like 20% today. Like she just doesn't have it. So I know that like, regardless of like how I'm feeling, she's coming to me because she fucking needs my help, basically. And that honesty for me has been like really, like, this sounds like a bit over dramatic, but it's been like transformative for us, because I could very easily come home and like, I'm in a bad mood because I'm tired or whatever it is, I'm stressed out. And I then, without voicing how I'm feeling, expect Harley to just understand what I'm feeling. And I just expect her to pick up the slack, right? But then because we're just able to give it to ourselves in like a percentage terms, it's easy for me to process. I'm able to go like, oh, okay, like she is really flagging today. Whereas like if she just went, oh, I'm tired today, I don't want to do it. I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't want to do it? We got to do it. Like, come on.
Yeah. And
I
it's so
think
easy to do that, right? It's so easy
100%,
to
man. Yeah.
just like, yeah.
And I think, like you said, like Hardy's kind of similar to Laura. Like, well, the four of us, like, we're all driven. Like, we've all got like goals and like aspirations and like things we want to achieve. And sometimes it's hard to like. It's almost like you're. At times, I think for me, it feels as if I need to sacrifice personally because of like,
yeah,
so that we can achieve like, I don't know, like the bigger picture. But
yeah.
I guess what I'm like sort of slowly realizing and figuring out is like, my goals and aspirations are part of the bigger picture, and we're all rowing in the same direction. So like some days I might have to give a little bit to help out Harley, but then other days she'll give a little bit to help out me.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like it's a good understanding. Like, you know, we don't necessarily use that, but you know, I can tell when Laura's, you know, not feeling it, and she knows like just due to, you know, how long I'm at work, she'll know if I've been there like 10 hours, I'm coming home frazzled, you know.
Yeah.
So she knows, like, she's like, go and have a shower, like just don't talk to me, sort of thing, for my best interest, you know what I mean? Because and so we have a very good understanding, but yeah, we're very honest with each other. She'll say that you know, I'm much like you, where she even today she's like, you're working me too hard, we're doing too much stuff, but I'm just, you know, I'm like, if we get this done, it's going to help when the baby comes, right? Because I'm like you, it's like do all the small things now, and then boom, the big picture comes, and you're like, sweet. And
mate,
so
I need to feel as if I'm moving the needle. Like
100%.
It doesn't matter how much, but it has to move a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, if I don't get stuff done that's on my list, like even if I don't start it, then I get annoyed, you know, because I'm very OCD. So, but it's good to have that understanding, because as I say, it's so easy when you don't sort of, like you say to Harley, like, I'm not feeling it today. She'd be like, come on, you know, or vice versa, or I do it. So it's good to have that understanding.
Oh, mate, and like she does, bro. I think with Harley, she's got this weird way, like she doesn't actually have to outwardly say it to me, but like, for example, last weekend, I think I ran like 38K or 36K on the Saturday, and then came home and I was just like, oh, like my day is more or less done today. I was maybe planning to like have the laptop on my belly, led on the sofa, like messing about a bit, but I was frazzled. And then I come home, she's heavily pregnant, she's cleaning the kitchen, she's vacuuming, she's like cleaning the bath, she's doing all this housework. And I'm sat there and I'm just like, am I actually going to let my pregnant wife clean the whole house? She's walked the dog. She's gone shopping. Do you know what I mean? And all I've done is gone for a run.
Yeah.
That motive, like I find more because of that.
Yeah.
And like, I think that energy like feeds, doesn't it? Like you feed each other. So like
100%.
Whereas like it would have been very easy to, for her to just be like, oh, well, Josh is out running. I'm pregnant. I don't feel very well. I'm just going to do nothing today, and he'll have to do it tomorrow. Like she could have and I wouldn't have even disputed that. But instead, she found the extra because she knew I had something I had to commit to. But then because I know that she found that, I in turn find more than I even knew I had. It's weird how it feeds each other.
It's mad. But you know what? Just to finish, like just on that is, I feel like that is, you know, the premise of a solid relationship, because you guys are solid, like we're solid, and not everybody, you know, has a really strong relationship, but like it's, you know, give and take. Like marriage or being in a relationship is give and take, and you know,
it's a teamwork, isn't it? Like that's where I look at it.
And once you're pregnant, like it's a different game. Like it's a different ball game, you know, like completely everything changes. And you know, the further on you get, it's just the emotions and hormones and all of that.
Mate, the dog's back. Say hello.
Gordy, mate.
Gordy boy.
I literally still picture him when you sent me the photo when you're holding him like that. No, he's like
mate, yeah, it's good. anyway, back to it. Like I really resonate a lot with it. But one thing I kind of wanted to bring up on that,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people probably feel this, regardless of what your relationship's like in terms of, you know, if you kind of figured that out, because everything we just spoke about, it takes time to figure out, right? It's not like we're sat
Yeah.
here now saying like, oh yeah, like we by no means are our relationship perfect, right? Like
No.
everyone has
No.
arguments and struggles, and you got to figure it all out. But I think that we've both kind of got our relationships to a place, and probably because we talk this, right? Like we try and help each other and like learn from each other. But with it comes like an underlying pressure, I think. Even though Hardy's doing amazing and Laura's doing amazing, and they're doing, like you said, probably more than they should be,
Yeah.
I constantly kind of feel like some sort of level of pressure that I can't do enough, and like whatever
Yeah.
I do is not enough. I don't know if you experience that at all.
A little bit. I think that's just unfortunately is a pressure that comes with being a male. Or
I
not
think so,
necessarily a
yeah.
male, just being
But yeah,
I guess being a male in a relationship.
or I guess just the person in a relationship that isn't carrying the child is
Yeah,
probably a better way to say it.
I think so because there's always just a pressure there to provide and just to do more. And then I think post baby, it's like even more. Once
Yeah,
the baby's here, right? So, um,
I'm sure we can
yeah,
get into that when the babies are
oh man,
here.
mate, seriously, imagine us in 6 months' time. It's going to be a completely different chat.
Mate, I'm gonna have bigger
I'll
bags
be,
under my eyes.
we'll be holding the babies. It'd be crazy. But yeah, I think there's always a pressure there, right? Again, I'll try not to let it consume me anyway. And yeah, having a support network of like you and Dan, I've got a couple of good mates here. One's having a baby actually in 2 weeks as well. So we're all very close there in dates.
Yeah,
So I think just talking about things and any problems, but especially with pregnancies, talking about it to try not to let that spiral out of control.
yeah,
Because
mate.
that pressure is always, you know, need to do more. Um, and you have to give yourself a break, right?
Yeah,
You've been at work all
yeah,
day, come home, and then you're trying to do X, Y, and Z. Like you're just going to burn out.
yeah.
So,
It's I know he's like very Marmite and he's completely unrelated to kids, but it's like if anyone's ever listened to like the Alex Hormozy stuff, like he
yeah.
talks a lot about like input versus output, and obviously he talks about it from a business perspective, but it really does sort of resonate. It's like there comes a point where if you keep grinding and keep trying to do more, your output is effectively zero. Like you're doing
Yeah.
nothing productive.
Yeah.
You're just grinding
Um,
yourself further into the ground. And sometimes you need to give yourself that grace to be like, look, I can go take a morning off today and try and recharge mentally and physically and emotionally, like with your partner. And then when we come back this afternoon, I'm going to be full again and I can like actually do
100%.
something like productive.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I listen to all of his stuff. We send his videos to each other, and I just listened to the one he did on the Diary of a CEO. They did like a three-way
Yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
and yeah, I think um, in life I have a tendency to sort of grind a lot at once, and then then I'll chill for a bit, and I'm trying to learn to do just a constant
keep
flow.
it a bit more steady. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same, man.
because I'm like
Figuring this out.
this, because normally what happens is like that job, I go and grind for 6-7 days, and then I'm ruined.
Done. Yeah.
I got ulcers in my mouth, and
Yeah.
from stress, which is my like what happens, and so yeah, it's very much you have to watch your output because like you say, you can start actually being counterproductive, and then you just do more harm than good.
Yeah. Because I think I was going to bring this up later, but it kind of, I think it falls very nicely into this. Like
Yeah.
with that sort of mentality, like we both got it. And I don't necessarily classify it as a negative trait, because I think it's amazing that we sort of have so much drive and like we're willing to kind of, set a goal for ourselves and like do whatever it takes to get there. I think
Always,
it's amazing.
yeah,
But with it does bring, like you said, stress, and like you get
yeah,
ulcers and you run yourself down. And I've been thinking a lot about this, obviously like with the fact that we're bringing kids into the world, and I don't know if I necessarily want my children to grow up in that sort of environment where it's so up and down.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think uh, for all the good qualities or for all the good that sort of quality does have, it does bring with it that stress, and
yeah,
even at times like the anxiety of then like when you've done so much and then you're doing zero, that makes
yeah,
me very anxious, and I feel like I'm not moving forward.
yeah,
And I think if I can find more of a happy medium, my my energy is, like we said, like more level, and I'll be able to just like be productive. I don't know, like financially, or just like
yeah, yeah,
outside of being a
yeah,
parent,
yeah,
and then I've still got that energy to be consistent with my kid. Because part of my worry is that I'm going to be so like foot on the floor on the gas with everything outside of being a parent, and then when I burn out, I'm burnt out completely. So I have nothing to give as a parent.
100%.
I don't know if you've
Well,
thought about that at all,
it's yeah. So
or have I just
I actually,
have I
no,
just
no,
sparked it in
no,
you?
no. So it's sort of interesting because you sent me that podcast a couple of days ago, Mel Robbins.
With Gabramate, Dr.
Yeah,
Gabramate, yeah,
and
mate.
so they talk about again, that's
The
mad.
guy's a wizard, man. Like, for
I'm
anyone
not all
listening, like,
yeah,
check it out,
highly recommend, and I'm pretty sure he's been on the Diary of a CEO as well. But
mate. He's
anyway,
done loads. Yeah,
um, so he talks about like if the mom is stressed while she's pregnant, that can pass through the placenta, and then it's like anyway. I'm not a scientist, but and he's talking about once your kids are around, if you say certain things about how they behave, then they'll associate certain things, and then they'll change as a person. And so I was thinking about that. Um, and again, going back to, when I do 10, 12 hours a day at work, I come home, like we have a dog. I can't even give him time. I am like on the floor, on the hard floor, because my back is in pieces. Like I've been up and down ladders all day. And I've thought about like, if we had a kid right now, like I couldn't give anything. And then, so on the flip side of that is one, the dog misses out. The dog was our first baby, if you like. Some
yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah.
he
I
was for
agree, bro.
us.
I'm a stroking Gordy boy now.
Yeah, literally. Like Bruce is part of the family, so he misses out. Laura misses out, and the baby everybody misses out. And the only
You miss out,
person,
bro.
yeah, I miss out. And the only person that gains is my client, because I've done, which in reality should be the last person that gains, And like I said, me doing long days at the minute is due to the baby due date getting closer. And, I'm just fortunately very busy, and I get booked out months and months in advance. So it's a catch 22, right? Like I create, what's the saying? I create the rod for my own back, where
Yeah, bro.
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm good at what I do. And so people book me in, and then all of a sudden I've got 8 months of work. But back to the baby. Yeah. I've actually thought like, I can't do this. It's not fair on anybody, Laura and the baby more so, and obviously myself. So, um, I've actually made plans for post baby. So my plan is to take some time off, and then I'm not booking anything longer than a month out, and just take him. Like my phone always rings, right? So it's never like I'm not going to run out of work. I'm just going to do my day, my normal day, which is 7.5 hours. That's what I quote. That's what people pay me for. They don't pay me to spend 12 hours a day there. And so, yeah, my plan is to just do my job, get paid, pay myself at the end of the week. And then the client's happy, I'm happy, Laura's happy, baby's happy, because I'm present, you know. Um,
And hopefully, bro, as well, like if you adopt that, you're not then going to look back in 20 years and be like, why did I spend all my
Exactly.
time working? Like, cause that's a big fear for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't know, achieve all this like success.
Yeah.
And then in 20 years time, somebody say to my kids like, oh, how would you describe your dad? And they're like, oh yeah, he worked really hard, but we never really saw him.
Never saw him. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? I listen to so many podcasts where, they're like, oh, my dad was never around. He was always working away. And like, I don't work away. Like, I work very local, but you don't want to get to that point. I don't work weekends. Very rare that I do. But I don't post baby. Like, there's absolutely no way. Like, the weekends are family time, and sort of my time.
It's funny though, and it's a fine line. It's like, I want to be super present. I want to be in my kid's life. I want to be able to show them that I was there and that like I cared
100%.
and like all of that stuff. But then at the same time, like I also want to show them like the value of work, and if you set a goal, you can achieve it, and like all of this sort of stuff.
And you want to give them the best life, right? So it's a very and so it's something that like I've been.
Mate, like, I don't know how to juggle, but I feel like I'm juggling.
Yeah, it's something that I've been trying to juggle. So it's like, you want to work as much as you can. It's a fine line of like working to the max and too much. Because if you work to the max, you want to make, whatever you're doing for work, you want to make sure you're earning enough money that, one, you can pay your bills, and two, that your kid has everything that you want them to have, that they need and have. And so it's like such a fine line of like working enough that everybody's happy. The kid's got everything it needs. Harley's got everything she needs, but you're not working too much. And then all of that negative stuff comes with it, where you're not present, you're sort of doing long days. It's a very fine line. And, I'm trying to find that balance pre-baby, and I'm sure it will just go out the window because, there's going to be periods of time where I can't work full time, let's say, for example. So my earnings are going to come down, right? So it's being self-employed. So it's a fine line of trying to juggle, like you say, juggle. That's probably the best way, because you're trying to juggle all these different things.
Yeah.
And making sure that the balls are staying in the air to keep everything sort of moving the way it should be going, right?
Yeah. I think because like something you said then, it kind of made me think. I spoke about, like, when I spoke to Charlie Hacker, we were talking a bit about like, again, like the Stephen Bartlett thing, like fill your cups and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's something that like I've really, really, since Oz and like a little bit before, since obviously we come to see you and your wedding and stuff, me and Hardy like really try to focus on that and like what makes us happy, what fulfills us, what gives us energy, basically, because if we're good, we can help everyone around us. And I feel like we've really just shifted to a point where like we want to do everything we can, obviously, like for our baby and like provide. I've really, really had this like, I don't know if it's an epiphany or just like realization that I am willing to suffer. I will suffer and grind it out to make everyone around me happy. But me not being happy won't allow everyone else around me to actually fully be happy. Because like Harley's just going to see me miserable. My kids are going to see me miserable. Do you know what I mean? And it's 100%. Like, I've come to that realization and I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Like, I am going to work my bollocks off. I'm going to do whatever it takes to build the life that I want for us, but I won't sacrifice my own happiness for that.
100%. Yeah.
And I guess that's easier said than done.
Again, it's that fine line, right? You just got to find that sweet spot, and it's trial and error, again, for anybody that doesn't know me, I am a super OCD, I plan everything to the T. Like, I'm already planning next weekend and it's Sunday night, like my whole weeks are planned in my diary. And so my thing at the minute is I'm trying not to plan too much, but plan as much as I can. And that is a battle that I'm having, where I'm trying to, be prepared. And, I don't know if you wanted to talk about this, but I sort of wanted to bring it up. Like, I've sort of had a battle where Laura bought me a book, for example, like Becoming a Dad, like a sort of, I'm not a good big reader, not like you.
No,
anyway.
You're like a podcast audiobook guy.
Yeah. You're a bookworm, but I just, I just don't. And so, I listened to podcasts, read a couple pages of the book, and then you speak, you tell people I'm having a baby and everybody wants to give you their 2 cents. That's just life. Some of it's good. Some of it's like, let that go. But, the main thing, the one thing I listened to Jamie Lang, his podcast.
Yeah.
Newly parents, because they're having a baby. Yeah, he did one with his dad, talking about like when he was a baby, and like the one thing his dad said, and it's just stuck with me ever since. It was just like, don't read any books. Like, your human instinct, your dad instinct will come into play, and you will do the right thing for your baby. And every baby's different. You can read all the books you want.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you how to do this, 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 and this, and you do it this way. But your baby and my baby is going to be completely different. And what works for yours ain't going to work for mine, and vice versa. And so that doesn't work with how my brain works. My brain is like, okay, let's work everything out, plan it all. So I know how to do this, this, and this. And so I've been fighting that, like trying to be prepared as much as I can, but not do too much.
Yeah. I think they mate, like with that, I 100% agree and understand like what he's saying, but at the same time, I'm kind of a bit like you. Is I accept that that's going to be the case. I still want to learn what possible options there could be out there, because I'm kind of one of those people, I think, where I'd rather have too much information than not enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, that's sort of it, really. I think, like we've just sort of, I guess, got to a point where like we've just gathered loads of information. We've saved loads of stuff in a joint folder, photos and videos. And, there's, we use ChatGPT more than we probably should. Like,
I use it every
day. Like, Laura uses it for the business. I use it for the business. I use it for silly things. But the good thing is, like, it's created so many different baby templates for us. Like, look, every baby is different, and your parenting technique, that's up to you. But every baby has like wake windows and sleeping windows. So for example, we've got this big spreadsheet on the fridge, which basically tells you at like, 0 to 1 week, 1 to 4 weeks, how much they will sleep and how much they should be awake, just so you have a guide that, like, if your baby only sleeps for 10 hours of the day, like, you're going to have a groggy baby. So it needs to be sleeping for at least, I think, 18 of the 24 hours in week 1, right? So it's just a guide. So we have loads of guides, and then, like you say, you have all this information from different people, different things, and then you can just, and again, it's trial and error, right? It's totally trial and error.
But I think what you're trying to say is, like, because you've got that information, you don't feel completely blind. You at least have some form of reference to refer to. So on the days when you are really tired, you're really struggling, you're stressed, Laura's doing your head in, because that's going to be a reality, right?
100%.
And you're going to be able to go there and hold that baby and go, am I doing the right thing? And then you can look at these things and be like, right, well, the baby should be sleeping about 18 hours, and today he slept for 17. So yeah, we're more or less there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You got a good reference. So
and I think those things just, you're still going to be scared and nervous, and you don't know what you're doing, and
100%.
second guessing yourself. But I think it just quietens that noise a little bit, and
I think
just
so. I think so. And look, ultimately, if I could, because of the person I am, I'd much rather just have like, this is how it's going to be, checklist. I'm like, da 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 da. And it's not going to be like that, right? And so that's what
basically what you're saying. You want an IKEA flat pack instructions of how
yeah,
to be a
literally,
dad, right?
that would be my thing. And then I'm like, okay, baby's born, boom, get the instructions out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 100
To
million, and just
18,
go, yeah, just go through the
18 years old.
checklist. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, a roundabout way, a long explanation there, but yeah, that's just something that
No, I
I'm
love
sort
it,
of
man.
dealing with. So yeah,
Yeah. How are you dealing with? I've been thinking a lot about. We're basically going through like an identity shift. Where, do
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we're
yeah, yeah,
shifting from. Well, we've had multiple shifts, I guess, over the past couple of years, but we've gone from like boyfriends to fiancés, which that's a little
yeah,
bit weird, and
yeah, yeah,
then fiancé to husband,
yeah, yeah,
and now we're going from husband to father or dad.
yeah. I honestly, for me personally, like those other like when I proposed, like mm, nothing changed much, just the bank balance, like so, um, and then the wedding, like obviously that's different because then you're like husband and wife, and I always, as a 20-year-old, wanted to get married. Like that was always what I wanted to do. So it was sort of like great, got that checked off the list. Again, bank balance massive, but like good times, we got to celebrate. But
I had a great
for
time.
yeah, yeah, me too, mate. We could do a whole podcast on that as well. But yeah, I feel like this. And look, I know we spoke about this. I don't know if you want to go into this. We can maybe do this on another one. But I think,
Go into it. If I
you
think you're
know,
chatting rubbish, I'll cut it out. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hitting 30 was a mad change. Like, I feel like, we spoke about this a lot. Um, Without going too deep, I'll just keep it more present. But, you know, I only have a sort of a very small friendship group, and I don't know, I got to 30 and that just shrank down even more. Coupled with the fact like I have friends here that are like 5 hours away. So anyway, that was massive. And then when you throw the baby into that, that is like crazy because, you know, it's such a big change. You're no longer just thinking about me and Laura, then it's like, okay, baby's coming. Like, for example, I just bought a fridge freezer because we needed a bigger one for the baby. Like, I'd much rather have spent $1,500 on something else, like new golf clubs or, but like needs must. Like, you need that, you know what I mean? And so that
Yeah, mate.
shift, I think, from what are we, 31 now, 32 next year. So like 30 last year, both got, well, I got married, you're the year before. Like, that change was like, I feel like you went from a young adult to an adult, in a way. And obviously, some people do that at different times, different ages, so it may be different. But for me personally, was a big shift, big shift. Where you're sort of thinking about your career more. In depth, like thinking, am I doing the right thing? Like this needs to have some longevity. Like, do I want to do this forever? And so you're thinking
Yeah.
about those things. Whereas, go back 4 years, you're like, no, it's just a job. I
Yeah,
can
we're just
get a new
figuring it out.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just apply for a new job. Whereas now it's like, well, no, like now I need to be stable, like for the family, for me, for us, so it's sort of a big shift. Yeah, as
Think,
opposed to,
do you feel with all these shifts, and I think it's just maybe how it's turned out. I don't think it, as you said, it's not necessarily the same for everyone, but we've had a lot of these shifts in a relatively short space of time. It's kind of been quite
yeah,
systemized and it
yeah.
happened relatively quickly, in the grand scheme of things. Do you think throughout this change, you're becoming do you think you're losing yourself, or do you think you're becoming yourself, like the best version of yourself?
I think I think I'm becoming the new me. Like this is the new me. Like I think you you know, I guess some people do. You can't really, I guess, dwell on the past, and like that's the past you, right? And you know, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and so you go through certain stages of life and you meet certain people to get through that certain journey that you're on, and so
They
I
provide
feel
you
like
value at that time,
at that time,
and
100%, 100%, and you know, I'm very lucky to have some good friends around me here, and they all came into my life at a really good time. Um, and now I'm going into the next journey, if you like, and it's the new me, you know, like it's mad, like it's so mad, but like you know, I feel like the next version of us is going to be the best one yet, you know.
mate, yeah,
L-
I think me and you have similar outlooks on this sort of stuff, and maybe that's probably why we've stayed so close. That
yeah,
we're able to take past experiences, whether good or bad, and extrapolate what value they gave us, and
yeah,
just learn from it, and just use it to help us be better looking forward. And I feel like that maybe sounds like really like oversimplistic, or like obvious, but I honestly feel that not everyone does that, and
no,
not everyone's able to do that. Like I know people that um maybe they're very happy. I don't know. I'm not judging or
yeah,
trying to pick apart people I care about their lives, but I feel like there's people that maybe go through something, good or
yeah,
bad experiences, and they reach a level of life and they're just like, that's it. Park the car, handbrake on, we're good.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
whereas I feel like we constantly want to evolve and grow,
yeah,
and that is exciting for me because I feel like we are at the start of a new evolution or something. I don't know.
literally, yeah, yeah. It's no, it. Who was I listening to the other day? Who was it? It's maybe Stephen Bartlett again. I don't know, but you know, he was saying that he's always chasing the next one, which is good and bad, right? But we're essentially like chasing the next one, like get married, then we're chasing the baby, and then you know, for us, we're hopefully, you know, touch wood, or as well, we'll have another one, and we'll chase that, and it'll be on to the next one after that, you know, and so you know, like you say, we're very similar with our previous life lessons, if you like. That's all growth, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
you use it as growth. Again, not everybody does, but use it as growth, and you move on, and you use that to become better. And you know, we're going into this next, you know, first time parents. It's just like you can use everything that we've been through in the last 31 years, which, you know, we've both had crazy upbringings, you know, different
Yeah,
life,
man.
you know, different life
Again, like that's
issues.
maybe we can get into all that deeply another time, man. There's a
Yeah,
lot to unpack there.
literally, like all of that has now come down to this, like this year, you know what I mean? And so, um, yeah,
Do
crazy.
you, I,
Go on, say it.
with all of that, I, it's made me think a lot about, because like, obviously naturally, as we've said, like we're entering this new phase, right? And
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing. Straight
yeah,
up, don't know what I'm doing. I literally just have no option other than to dive in the deep end and hope I don't sink,
yeah,
right? That's effectively
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
doing. Because I'm able to look back at everything we've been through, whether it be our dysfunctional childhoods or our, at the time, very fun teenage and early 20s,
very fun.
but definitely very unorthodox, and we can't necessarily talk about all on this. But um, I've reflected a lot on that sort of stuff because it's really making me think about the sort of values that I want to try and instill in my children. Like,
Yeah,
as I'm learning how to be a parent, and obviously at the same time, I then have to try and raise good kids, right? Like a good child. So yeah, I kind of wanted to think a bit about like, basically, I heard something the other day, and I think it will resonate with you. We obviously, for people that don't know, like we know each other. We played ice hockey together, but most of the time we played against each other.
Yeah.
You
From
know,
the
you
age
sold
of
me the
what,
dream.
14?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it was, man. And you sold me the dream to come back and play in Bristol.
Yeah.
And
Best
yeah,
decision ever.
we had some fun, man. But anyway,
Yeah.
I heard this thing, and it was the idea that you don't teach your children, you coach your children.
Yeah.
And the idea is that coaches never actually get to play in the game. All they can do is cheer from the sidelines and educate the team in the locker room. But whatever happens, they never actually get to play in the game.
Yeah.
And it was just something that I thought about a lot. And I was like, yeah, do you know what? It's kind of, I get it. Like that resonates with me. It's like you could have, for me, like looking back, like through hockey or just like life, some of the people that taught me the most are the people that kind of didn't get too involved. They just kind of
Yeah.
let my life play out. And at times they would pull me aside and be like, look, like I've been there. I know what you're going through. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
This is how I handled it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. The
that,
guidance.
yeah, you know, I think that's almost more powerful than like, I, I think some people, and I understand why, but some people really try and like get so involved in like their kids'
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like they see their kids making maybe the mistakes that they made or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I think like it's really made me think about like, yeah, I don't necessarily know if I want to do that. And it kind of feeds onto this thing. I read something else and it like really hit me, man. It said kids don't treat themselves how you treat them. Kids treat themselves how you treat yourself.
Yeah.
So effectively, like your kids will grow up watching you, watching how
Yeah.
you work, watching how you have fun, watching how you treat your wife, watching how you treat your friends. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that is how they learn. And again, I think it kind of feeds into that like coaching thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to tell my kids what to do. I need to show my kids
Yeah.
what to
100%.
do.
100%. I mean, look, base it on the hockey theory. Like all of my best coaches were just good people at guiding, that this is how you do it and show me how to do it and then I can do it, right? Not like shout and scream and, go and do it,
Yeah.
so
Why did
having
you
some,
do that? I told
yeah.
you not to do that. Like, do you know what I mean?
So, and I think, having somebody to guide you rather than, tell you or shout at you what to do. And so, like for my kid, of course I would love him to, play hockey and play soccer and golf but I ultimately have to just guide him. And if he likes it, he likes it, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. And I suppose that's with how he grows up, his manners. Again, if he hears you saying please and thank you, then he will.
Holding doors open for
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
or you know, like
yeah,
it sounds like oversimplistic, but I think like
yeah,
that is how you
yeah,
teach
yeah,
kids your
yeah.
values. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think so. But like you say, like we're going to be first time dads, so this is like the unknown. And
Yeah,
so
man.
no matter how much you read or do or what, it's like you're just sort of going in head first. And you just have to do your best to, and look, I feel like I'm a good person and, I've made good of my life so far. And so if he's anything like me, like it'll be, I'll be
Yeah,
buzzing.
man.
Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I think that's literally it, man. It's like me and Harley were on a walk with the dog one day this week. We were chatting about this, and I was saying, I think because we were kind of talking a bit about like and again, maybe this is something good to highlight. Like me and Hardy have actively spoke about how we
Yeah.
kind of want to raise our kids, like what
Yeah.
we think is important
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
But without getting sort of too deep into that, but we were saying about, or more so I was saying, I was kind of thinking out loud to her.
Yeah.
But I was saying, like, I think and it's kind of back to this cup theory, like fill your own cup. It's like, if I can just live my life trying to be, and again, this sounds really cringy, but like the best version of me, do what I believe is right, like whether it be hold a door open for someone, pick up rubbish that I see on, like simple, basic, but just live like what I think is for the betterment of our family and for society and whatever. My kids will learn those values through me. And
100%.
then if I see that they're maybe picking up bad habits elsewhere, school or friends or whoever, I coach them. I don't tell them it's wrong. Like, I don't shout at them and scream at them. I don't think you necessarily, maybe, depending on the severity, okay, right? But we're talking generally here. Yeah, that's kind of like the conclusion I've got to, because I've been thinking about it a lot, and yeah.
Well, you know what? Like, so just to sort of back that up, I mean, no, I agree 110%. I have a good friend here, Righty. Shout out to Righty. I know he'll listen
man,
to
what
this.
a legend.
He, Righty, is, he's a lot older than me, but he's like, we hang out, play soccer, play golf together. He's like, I guess a dad figure, because I don't, the dad that I don't have, if you like. And so I lean on him a lot, and he helps me. He's helped me in the past, a lot. And, I've spoke to him about this in a roundabout way. And, his response to me was, the fact that you're already thinking about it I know that you're going to do the right thing. Because if you weren't thinking about it, and so same as you know what I mean? Like, the fact that you and Nose are having that conversation, you're already processing that in your brain. You're going to do absolutely unreal, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. Yeah. I think, do you think, I don't want this to sound bad for people that maybe didn't, and this isn't like I'm not judging people that maybe didn't think this way. But do you think if you would have had kids at, say, I don't know, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, do you think you would have been thinking this way? Or do you think?
Nah. For me personally, look, I've been very mature for a long, long time. My God, this dog. Sorry. And so, I left England at 23 and went traveling, and I was never very immature, very mature for my age, but I had to grow up very quick. So I was always very mature, but the growth from 25 to now 31, what I've gone through, like I already said, massive. I could have had a kid, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't be anywhere near sort of, I guess, sort of
just together in yourself.
Yeah,
man.
I'm not complete, but I wouldn't be I would be nowhere near where I am now. Like, I'm very sort of, I guess financially I'm good. Mentally I'm good. I'm stable, and so
I'd describe where you are now as self-aware.
Yeah, that's it. That's good. Yeah, very self-aware.
You're so self-aware of both the positives and the negatives in your life. And because you are a driven person and you have big goals and ambitions, you are able to do the work. You be honest
100%.
with yourself and be like, this is a flaw of mine. Let's try and work at that. This is a
100%.
positive. Let's feed off of that.
100%. And again, shout out to Righty, because he always says to me, like, you're so self-aware for your age, because I can sense when there's something wrong with people, and I'll be like, is everything okay? And this is slightly off topic, but I am. And so, I know that, again, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I know I'm going to be like a good dad. I'm going to be a good dad. I know for sure. Right. And Laura's going to be a great mum, as you and Harley are. But it's going to be tough. But yeah, like, I think, would I wanted a kid at 25? No. Maybe it'd be different if I wasn't in Australia and I was in England. I'd probably have a house by now, and maybe. But I'm glad how it's worked out. Like I said, always believe everything works or happens for a reason, and everything has happened as it should have. And here we are now, just in the right time. Like, everything just feels right. I don't know how you and Nose feel, but like, for me and Laura, we even saying yesterday, like, everything just feels like right. And like,
we also, I don't want to speak for Harley, but we've spoke about this, so I feel I can say this.
Yeah.
We are probably in the best place we've ever been in, not just as in a relationship and in a marriage, but just as
in life.
people. Yeah. We obviously, as like 2023 and like all that period was like extremely difficult, and it forced us to really look inward and just be honest with ourselves about things that we had been suppressing for a long, long time.
100%. Yeah.
And I could not be the father that I want to be without going through that.
100%. Yeah.
It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, watch my nan suffer the way that she suffered. I said this whilst I was going through, I would have said it to you, no doubt.
Yeah.
I honestly felt as if, I'm going to get emotional saying it, I honestly felt as if my nan was like trying to teach me something and give me one last like life lesson.
Yeah, one lesson, yeah.
And I swear down, man, that I was driving back from the hospital multiple times with my mum.
Yeah.
And we'd both be super upset, and like a nurse would have pissed us off, or a doctor or something.
Yeah. Something.
And I'd be driving back and I'd be like, I don't know what's going on, but like Nan's trying to give me something. Like, she's trying to teach me something. And I was saying it for months and months and months. And obviously, like, I was reading shit and like listening to podcasts and like all this stuff. And then, all of a sudden it was like a big wave after my nan died. Like, and I was like, but it didn't just happen to me. Like, it happened to Hardy as well. It's so weird, bro. Like, we both felt it. And maybe, I don't know, like, maybe that was kind of similar to like you and Laura, like with the whole COVID thing and being so on your own and isolated. Like, I think like those periods of extreme darkness can bring with it so much light. I don't know, like
100%. I mean, like, like any, tough time, dark time, any of those sort of down times, they sort of make you stronger. You have to go through it, and so that again, molds you.
I think, I think though, I think with those dark times, like, you have a choice, and I firmly believe this. And maybe people argue and say that I'm full of shit, and that's fine. But I believe that through periods of your life like that, because everyone will experience periods that are extremely difficult, you have a choice, and you either learn from that and grow from it, or you just suppress it and ultimately suffer from it for the rest of your life. And like
100%. Yeah.
I'm a winner, bro. I ain't losing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You have to just and it's hard, right? Like, we're very similar, so we take things, like we've already said, but you take things and you learn from it and grow from it. And so it's very hard to do that. Not everybody does that, because you can sort of,
it is hard, man. Super hard.
Not dwell on the past, but you just let it sort of.
Mate, I think, like, as me and Charlie said, like, he described it well. It's like finding the strength to open that can of worms is really hard. But once you open it, and you've got no choice but to deal with it all, it's freeing, because you've been carrying that can around with you
for so long,
however long.
100%.
Hey, this has been really fun.
Yeah.
I'm conscious of time. We've gone a little while and time difference and stuff for you. But
No,
one
it's good.
thing, I sort of touched on it a little bit earlier, and I'd love to wrap it up by asking you this. And it's leaning more towards sort of like the legacy and what it means to be a parent
Yeah.
and be a father. What kind of father do you want to be remembered as? Like, if in 30 years' time, 40 years' time, what do you want if you could be a fly on the wall and somebody asked your kids what type of dad was Jordan, how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, that's a good question. I hadn't thought of that. I want to be known as a cool dad. Just a cool dad. Just somebody that's like easy to talk to. You know, I don't know. I don't want to go down this road if you don't want to go down it, but
Now, bro, if you are happy to go down it, I always want to go.
like I I won't give the whole sob story because it's not a sob story, but the backstory of it and why this is sort of relates to that. I grew up with just my mum. Like I don't know my dad. He sort of disappeared at the age of like three and a half. So spent most of my childhood up until like 11 with just my mum, and then um, so we are super close. And so I grew up, even at the age of 11, I would say to people, I don't have a dad. I just have a mum. My mum does a job as a mum and my dad, right? And I'm so grateful for my mum. Shout out to my mum. Like,
She's
love her to
amazing. What a
bits.
woman,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Like, I am the person I am today from my mum. Like some people say, like, oh, I'm the man I am today because my dad. Like, I am the man I am today because of my mum. Like, literally everything, the way I am my mum, and so, grew up from, 11 to 20. My mum had a partner, but it was always my mum's partner, wasn't a dad. And so how that relates is, I already know I'm going to be a great dad because the one thing that I can do that my dad never did was be present, as in
Yes, brother.
physically present. So I already know that he's going to have a better upbringing than what I am because I'm going to be there every day, right?
Yeah,
So
bro.
that's first and foremost. Like, not to get too deep here, but like that's
Nah, man, I love it, man. Thank you. Thank you for
like,
sharing that, bro.
nah, it's fine. Like, honestly, like I am, I was so young that it wasn't, because some parents separate at an older age and then it's harder for kids. I was so young that I didn't really know any different, right? So I know that me just being there every day, being in his life, he's gonna have a great childhood, and so that's the dad I want to be. Is just to be there, be cool, be good, give him everything that hopefully he wants, hope everything that he needs, from a baby up until a 30-year-old man like me, and I'm 60 odd, you know. Um, I think that's the best you can be, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's sort of, I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been thinking about it a lot because, um, yeah, I obviously have my mum to thank for everything. And, I don't want this to sound sad, but like, I don't really know what it's like to have a dad. Like, if, and a lot of people around that listen, I'm sure they're in the same, I'm not sort of, the only one in the world. And so, it's, again, I've always, like you were saying earlier about the coaching, like when you were talking about that, like I've always got on so well with my hockey coaches and school teachers because that's like a male figure in my life, right? That I never had. And even like my young, like, you got girlfriends as you grow up in your teens, and I've always got on so well with their dads. And like, even now I like would talk to some of them because I never had that, right? And so just to just be there as a male figure, that's the best dad I can be, I think.
You
Thanks,
love
mate.
that.
So,
Thank you, man. This has
nah, all
been
good.
super good, man. Um,
Yeah,
and look, I think please, for anyone listening, if you want to hear more of this, because obviously we're on this journey together now, right? Like we're a month
100%.
apart, and there's going to be a lot of unknowns that we're going to try and figure out, and there's going to be a lot of emotions that we don't know how to deal with, and all of this stuff. And basically, you know, like obviously the reason I want to do this with you and I asked you to be on the podcast is we talk very openly like this a lot.
Yeah.
And we're both kind of willing to figure this out and record
100%.
it. And hopefully maybe this helps someone else, right? So
it will definitely help. It will definitely help.
Look, if you're a new dad or you're due to be a dad, not even just a dad, a parent in general, I think this maybe could be powerful for females to hear and maybe understand kind of what their partners might be thinking. Then let us know, like drop a comment, maybe let us know what you'd want us to talk about and even just ask us outright any questions. Like I'm straight up willing to answer. I'm fully transparent with it. And I think you are as well, bro. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Happy.
Yeah. This would be cool, man. Oh, look, bro, I'm excited. I'll chat to you Wednesday anyway. Waffle Wednesdays.
Yes. Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to it. So pumped. Thanks for having me, mate. It's been a blast. I'm looking forward to the next one. So
it is my pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for being part of this with me. Look, bro, we'll end it there. Catch you
Sounds good,
Wednesday.
mate. Cheers,
mate.
Man.